Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of BeawCast. Today, I have my good, dear friend, Jeremy, who I'm really excited to share his story. So if you follow my Instagram or my YouTube, you'll see that I went to Japan with Jeremy. We have businesses together. We opened Sip Matcha, Shrimp Daddy. Back in the day, we did pop art together. We did a lot of things together. So when you look at him from the outside, you're like, this guy's very well put together.
Yeah,
Really?
he looks very vanilla.
Yeah, successful.
Like very classy, like French vanilla. You
French
know what I mean?
vanilla, yes.
You have the bean and the
Madagascar vanilla.
There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're very classy,
Thank you.
very
Thank you.
refined.
So you see how cultured he was? He's like Madagascar, not just regular vanilla.
Yeah. I don't even know. I just know
Yeah.
of the movie from Disney Madagascar.
Oh, you have to. When you have kids, you know all the movies.
Yeah.
But that's, I think what she was trying to say is how uncultured she is.
Yeah, but he's so nice. Yeah, that was my point. But thank you for being positive. We're not very positive on this channel. Okay?
Oh, okay. I'll try to get used to that.
Yeah, so that's what you see. But what people don't know is that this guy used to be a crook. Not a crook, but like I think like growing up in the SGV, 626 San Gabriel Valley, there was a super heavy in gang culture, like especially in the 90s, early 2000s, late 80s. And so I was part of it a little bit. And then so I met you through Joe.
That's right.
And so when he told me about your story, and he just gave me the very brief version, which I want to dive into later, but his very brief version was like, this fool went to jail and he goes to UCLA now. He's like, you want to go meet him? I think it was something like that.
That was your intro? That's what Joe told you?
I think I met you a couple times. And then I remember this one time you invited Joe over to the Strathmore apartment to go swimming.
I remember that.
And then Joe was like, hey, you want to roll with me? Because I was shooting JK with Joe already. And then Joe was like, hey, you want to roll with me? Jeremy's like having a party or something. I'm like, oh, which Jeremy? And he goes, oh, you know that fool that went to jail and went to UCLA? I'm like,
That's a reference.
I'm like, yeah, I'm down to go.
That's what he has you under his phone.
Really? Yeah. I remember the first time I met you was at a roller rink. You remember that?
Yeah.
Was that West Covina? I don't know where that roller rink was.
Wherever it was, but it was like playing 70s
What year are we talking?
music.
What year are we talking here?
Wow, like 2006 probably, 2005.
Okay,
Yeah.
give me some reference. All right.
I don't know if that was the first time, but I do remember you there.
Yeah.
Because I remember I would hang out with Joe, and then he would have like what he calls like his Arcadia friends.
Right.
And in the Arcadia friends, there's like, you guys roll deep. There's like 20, 30 people that are all constantly changing all that. So sometimes I see some people, like a couple of times we watched a pirate show. We watched a pirate show with Ant, and then he wouldn't be there again. And then it was just crazy. I was just meeting like a ton of people all the time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Bart stood out though
Why?
from day one.
Why? Because I'm goofy? I was probably doing some
Super
weird
goofy.
I was probably doing some weird shit.
Yeah, you were definitely doing some weird shit.
What was it?
He was going around the roller rink and he was pretending to give blowjobs.
I was?
While you were roller skating. Yeah.
For reals?
Yeah, you were
That
doing
doesn't
the whole
even sound like you.
you were doing the whole motion with the the
Really?
yeah. That's
What the
first.
fuck?
Are you lying?
Are you sure it was Bart?
Hands down for sure.
What was Joe doing?
Joe was just being Joe,
Was
but
he gyrating his hips? And I'm like,
it could have been something like that.
What a weirdo.
That's my first impression of Bart.
And what did you think? Were you
I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's tight. That's fucking awesome.
That's fucking hilarious. Okay.
So yeah, let's go. I think like in the short version, when like I was vlogging earlier and I was like, hey, I'm so excited to interview my buddy Jeremy because he went to jail, went to UCLA, and then he went to Ivy League for his master's. And then when you meet him now,
amazing.
you would never have known that he lived a life of crime or anything like that. And he completely changed his life around. And I'm like, this story has to be shared because it's so inspiring.
I hope it inspires somebody. I mean, I don't know how it all unfolded. It wasn't intentional.
The life of crime that you fell into?
Most people don't go, I'm gonna be a criminal and then I'm gonna get my master's right after.
Yeah.
All right, take us back. When was like the first, was it like in middle school when this stuff started, like when you started kind of going astray? Because like, when you start kind of going off the path that your parents.
I think so. I think I was starting to skip classes during middle school, starting to smoke, so it was cigarettes at first. But then
what grade are you in, like sixth?
So I was 13 at the time.
Seventh, yeah.
Seventh grade.
I first started smoking in seventh grade
Damn,
too.
that's crazy.
And then you start, okay, well, let's smoke some weed. You add that into the mix.
This is also in seventh grade?
This was around there, yeah.
Okay.
Damn,
Yeah.
you're an early bloomer.
Did your parents have any like feeling that you were kind of being a bad kid? Like, were you dressing differently? Like,
Not
grades?
yet. Not yet at the time. They never really kept tabs on me. Since I was in 4th grade, they would just, I would be sleeping over. I wouldn't come home at night. So I was.
You were like a latchkey kid?
I guess
Wait,
so.
in 4th grade? So you were like 9. You already weren't coming home.
Yeah. I was just on my bike. I was out. And I would just call in and be like, hey, I'm okay, but I'm going to sleep over at a friend's.
Oh, okay.
Damn. Why were they so just hands off?
I don't know. My mom was pretty chill. My dad, he's an immigrant, so he's like, he doesn't even know how to
So he's just working.
relate. And yeah, so he's just working, and then he would like yell and say, no, you can't. I'd be like, well, I'm just not coming home, so I'll see you tomorrow.
At 4th grade?
Yeah.
In 4th grade? What the fuck?
With that deep ass voice, probably.
He's like, all right.
I'm not coming home then.
He's like, oh shit, my son's a man now.
Well, I mean,
That's crazy.
so that was the norm. And then in 7th grade, it wasn't any different. It was just, then I was introducing smoking into the picture.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you start dressing differently? Because I know like around 6th, 7th grade, people are like, they notice themselves.
Yeah, that's the time of the baggy jeans.
Yeah.
And the staples and
Oh my God, the fucking staples.
the staples, and then
like big t-shirts.
Yeah.
If you showed your elbows, you're a bitch. It has to like come down to here.
yeah, the flannels.
In 7th grade, you were doing that?
Yeah, it's starting to change the
Bro, in 7th grade, I was playing with Barbie still.
really?
Yeah.
Loser.
I couldn't shave my legs. I couldn't pluck my eyebrows. I wasn't wearing any makeup.
You weren't allowed to.
Hell no.
Disgusting.
Not until high school. Like, maybe.
So then one day they're like, you can now shave your
Well,
legs.
because I kept fucking
I
bothering
had to do
people.
a golden razor.
I had to keep bugging, but damn, okay. It's
So-
just a different childhood here.
Yeah, I guess I was very free spirited or allowed to just
Yeah.
experiment,
Yeah.
adventure.
And then so at that time, so if you're already smoking and then you're already smoking weed, I can kind of picture the type of friends that you had. Like no one was probably like, did you guys have influence of someone's older brother? So that way, because usually that happens too, where like someone's older brother's already
Yeah.
like gangbanging, and then the younger brother kind of gets that rubbed off on them, and you kind of already start a path of delinquency.
I think it was my neighbor at the time. I think my neighbor, he was in a gang. But it wasn't so much like he was trying to lure me into it. It's more that he was watching out for me.
Oh,
So,
shit.
like-
oh, because you were alone all the time.
Well, so I was hanging out with him, and we used to like do like play with firecrackers together. And then if I would bring friends over, he would check them out. He would be
sick.
like, hey, you guys come over here. Like, where are you from? Like, he'd ask him all this stuff, and then he'd be like, hey, don't fuck with this guy. And then
That's so cool.
that was like my neighbor from a long time ago. And then
What city was this?
San Gabriel.
Oh, okay.
San Gabriel. And then, from that, I kind of got a glimpse into it. And then in high school, there were some people that I lived with at a time.
What the fuck? Okay, what do we... All right, so we went from 7th grade.
Yeah.
So then 7th grade to 8th grade.
Was just
experimenting.
smoking.
Okay.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Were you like hooking up? Were you like having sex and stuff?
I wasn't really into all that.
Oh, okay. So it was just drugs
I always felt like it was dirty.
Oh,
I always felt like if you're so easy, you got to be dirty.
damn, that's tight. At 7th and 8th grade.
I don't know. That
Yeah,
was
I felt that way too.
Yeah.
Even
Like-
though I wanted to, I secretly wanted to. But then if things move too fast, I'm like, oh, you're a fucking slut, but I want to bang you so hard.
Yeah. But I was like, oh no, disease.
That's smart. Damn, at such a young age.
Yeah, I don't know how I got that idea, but that was the thing with that.
Did
Okay,
you do
so now...
any crime, like even small crimes, like shoplifting or anything like that at this time?
I did. So how it started was I would, I don't know, I wanted computer speakers because I was playing Counter-Strike, right?
This is 7th and 8th grade stuff.
Yeah. So like headphones,
fuck.
like I needed a new headset for Counter-Strike, but I didn't have the money. And my parents were like the type where if you want something, you go get it yourself, right? It wasn't like I got
You didn't get allowance, none of that?
Nope.
Shit.
So
How do
I
they
think-
expect you to get it yourself if you're 13 years old?
Well, I don't know, but they were just like, oh, that's cool. Like I was like, my friend got a PlayStation. Can I get a PlayStation? Nope. Like go figure it out. And then so
Oh, damn.
I remember the first thing I started to do as a kid was I started selling the dog poop from our backyard.
You started selling it?
Yeah.
That's
How do you
genius.
sell that? That's amazing.
I found a guy down the street that was really into composting.
Yeah.
And he was like a super hippie. I mean, he had long hair, white guy, and like, I don't know what he did for work. He was just always home, and he was out in his garden. And as a kid, I was always out on my bike, and then we would always cross paths. And got to talking. He's like, you know what really does really well with the compost is dog shit, right? And I was like, oh, perfect. I have a dog and I have tons of it in my backyard. Like, can I sell you some?
What? That's amazing.
Yeah. So every couple of weeks I would gather and bring it over, and it wasn't a lot. It was like $5, right?
Yeah.
Per bag or something.
It adds up though.
Yeah. So that was like the first venture I had selling dog poop. And then I would, but prior to that, I would sell stuff to, like in 3rd grade, I remember I used to sell crystals.
What kind of crystal meth?
Stupid.
Amethyst crystal, you know, the purple ones?
You knew what the fuck they were?
Oh, those
In 3rd grade, you knew that they were okay.
Well, because
you were too soon on the trend, man.
the girls loved it.
You're too soon.
The girls loved it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they were my main clientele, like the girls in the class.
Yeah.
I would sell it to them and take their lunch money.
Where did you get it from in the first place?
So we had these book
orders.
Yeah, where they would come to campus.
I remember seeing those.
And then they're like, okay, everybody, it's our turn now. Get out of your seat. We're going to the whatever room, and you could walk around, get your money ready, pick up stuff. And so I would just buy like all of the crystals. I would buy, there's a lot of like books on how to make bracelets.
Yeah.
So I bought that and I made bracelets to sell with the crystals. And then that was 3rd grade. So that was how I made money then. And from that, I bought a Sega Genesis.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Holy shit. How many of those did you sell?
I just, like over a year, I think, just saving up and selling
what a
them.
hustler.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going back to
we're going back a little bit, yeah.
It's okay. No, that's okay. So we go back to 7th and 8th grade, where you were doing legit getting money, and then you were doing the crooked style, which was...
Yeah, so back to the Counter-Strike thing, right? Like, okay, I figured out a way to go into Walmart and then pick out what I want. Oh, like I really like this set of headphones. Of course, at the time, it's like expensive, right? So I'm like, okay, well, the fastest way to get it's today.
That is the fastest way. That's
right?
the Amazon model,
right? Yeah, that's
you order in the morning and it comes at night.
And then so what I figured out was all I had to do was take this product, talk to the customer service desk, and then walk out with it.
What are you telling the customer service desk?
So so I pretend you're the lady at the customer service.
How can I help you?
All right, great. So hey, I got these pair of headphones last week, but I lost my receipt.
Okay.
And is there any way I can get a full refund today?
Absolutely fucking not. Take it home.
Yeah. Okay. See ya. I'll be back later when I find the receipt. And that's it. And I walk out. And
don't go out and do that now. That's fucking...
I think
I'm jealous I couldn't think of that.
They caught on to it.
But are you standing at the counter with a white t-shirt and Cortezes?
Yeah.
And they didn't know. Like, this fool does not fucking have a receipt for this shit.
Real talk though, when I was growing up, I only thought the bad kids were the cholos, which were the Mexicans, because that's what I grew up seeing. I never once in my life thought Asians had cholos.
There's a universal gangster uniform though.
There is, but then I thought, so I went to school with Asians.
Yeah.
And then when I saw them wear that uniform, I'm like, why are they biting off of the Mexican cholo uniform? Like, who do they think they are?
They probably robbed a Mexican guy.
Probably. You're right. But that was just my ignorance at the time.
They were trying to understand the culture. You know, like if you go to Japan today, there's like that whole culture where they have lowriders. And they look like cholos.
They even have the Mexican flag and everything.
Yeah.
Damn, that's fucking genius.
And so I started doing that, and
how did that
was my start.
That was your start. And then how did that lead into gangs? Did you join a gang? Because you and Joe were in the same gang before, right?
Yeah. And so
now we go to high school.
So how do you define gang? And I mean, gang is just what, a group of 5 people
with a name.
Nah,
and
dude.
Yeah.
No. It's not a group of... I have a group of 6 people, and I would never call us a gang. I'm like, we're just a circle of friends.
Webster's Dictionary.
Yeah.
It was more of like a crew.
A crew, okay.
Rather than a traditional gang where it's like, oh, blood in, blood out. You know, it's not like that.
Okay.
And we were more focused on how to better our lot.
Our lot? What the fuck? What does that mean?
Like,
what's our lot mean?
Your lot is like your place in life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So how to improve things for us.
Why does that sound so positive?
Because Jeremy's saying it.
That sounds positive as fuck.
So then we got into more stuff. Yeah.
Like what?
Like weed, selling weed.
Did you guys have grow ups, or you guys just bought from someone else?
We didn't have the patience. None of us had a green thumb, so don't trust us with your plants. But we knew how to get rid of it. We knew how to sell it. And
so you guys would buy like in bulk from someone else?
Yeah, and then just flip it. And sell
what point are we talking about? 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, 12th?
This was probably right around 15. So this was like sophomore year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So sophomore year, we were doing all this.
How did you even find out about, like, you guys were smoking a lot of weed and you're like, you know what?
Well,
we're spending too much money.
Yeah. So the first thing is, how do we offset our overhead? How do we?
Shut the fuck up. No one talks like that at 15.
Okay, yeah. I agree. All right. That's not the vocabulary we had.
I want to hear the hood vocabulary y'all were using.
I'll try to go back in time, but it's something like,
how do I offset my overhead?
Man, we're smoking so much weed and we should be selling this stuff because our hookups are not that great, or they don't always have good weed, or
okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so there was like, some of it was based out of necessity, some of it was based out of, well, we're smoking it anyway, and then some of it was based out of we could do better. Yeah. And then of course improve our lot.
All right, I'm going to stop you there real quick because we're going to take a quick ad break. Special thanks to our sponsor, Third Love. I'm actually wearing the bra right now.
Woo.
I absolutely love it. You see how there's like no lines? Ladies, I know you have bras in your drawer right now as you're listening to this that do not fit you properly. I was one of those people. My boobs were just like, you could see them spilling out. I didn't know what my right size was. I didn't even know how to measure that. But Third Love is convenient, easy. I took I think it was like a 60-second quiz online where I get to look at different types of drawn boobies. And I'm like, okay, which ones kind of look like mine? I click on it and I take a series answers a series of questions at the end of those 60 seconds. Did I say minutes in the beginning?
I don't know.
Well, just know that they're seconds. At the end of it, it suggested the bra that I should be wearing with the correct size. And voila, this is the bra that was suggested to me. And I absolutely freaking love it. I love it. And it's super cute. It's got a bunch of gold accents everywhere. It's nude. You can't see anything. Like, can you see what color I'm wearing right now? No. I love it. It's the best thing that you guys can do. Try it out. It's 100% fit guarantee. So you can't go wrong. If for whatever reason you get the wrong size or the suggested size was just not what it just doesn't work for you, just return it and you get to pick a new one or you get your money back. So for those of you listening right now, you're going to get 15% off your first order. That is amazing. 50% off. If it doesn't fit, return it. No sweat on your back. Go to thirdlove.com/Beaw, BEAW now to find your perfect fitting bra. And then get 15% off your first purchase. So again, that's thirdlove.com/Beaw, BEAW for 15% off today. Good luck. All right, and we're back. Okay, that sounded cheesy AF. And we're back, everybody.
I didn't think so until you pointed it out.
Well, I felt it and I'm like, whoa, cheesy. I had to call myself out. Huh. Okay, so you're trying to improve your lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so then 15, you're slanging weed is what we used to call it.
That's true. It's coming back now. Yeah.
Okay,
that's
good.
Right.
I'm happy. So you guys were slanging the weed.
Yeah.
And then what was that like? Like, were you like nervous, or were you like, nah, this is like, you were just thinking the end?
I think we've been smoking it so much that we knew how to interact with people because we interacted with our dealers at the time. So we already had that experience. And then, I mean, it wasn't like we had to go somewhere shady in a back alley to get this stuff. It was in our classrooms.
What do you mean?
So I went to Temple City High and...
Oh, like slanging it in the classroom?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you knew who sold weed in your class.
Yeah.
And all you had to do was sit next to them when it was that class and be like, hey, like, can I get a 20?
Yeah. It's called a dub.
A dub, yeah.
Okay. Hey, thanks. I stand corrected. Dub.
For the metric units, 20 grams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, it's just 1 gram though.
Oh, 1 gram, sorry.
$20.
It's $20 for a dub sack. You're right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. It's coming back.
So remember the math part of it because I'm Asian.
At this point, what was the relationship like with your parents?
This point in time, my parents had just separated. and I went to live with my mom, which is the super chill one out of them both.
Yeah.
And then that's when...
Did she live in Temple City?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's when everything just changed because I was able to like leave a bong in my room. I had a 3-foot bong sitting in the middle of my room. It was like, we had chairs. It was like a AA meeting type situation, but a bong's in the center.
Yeah.
And then people would just come over and smoke out.
You could do whatever you want. She didn't care?
Yeah, she didn't care.
Why do you think she didn't care? Like, did she know that was drugs?
I mean, if you look at a bong, you have to know it's not normal.
good.
Yeah, it's weird,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and it's all, it doesn't look like a vase.
Yeah.
And it has all this like resin in it.
Yeah.
So, and it smells.
Yeah.
So you had to know something was up. I don't know why. To this day, I haven't asked her why she didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah, you should. That'd be a tight. What if she was just like, I was doing the same thing in my room, baby?
You're like, oh, she was like, oh, when you went to school, I was hitting it. So, I don't know. She's just so chill. She's the type that she would have faith, and she's very religious. So she's like, oh, everything that happens, she's like, just have faith.
Oh, interesting.
And so maybe she was using that. I was like, oh, I have faith one day you'll stop this stuff.
Okay.
But she wasn't the type to force me to stop.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So 15, you're slanging. Was it just weed at that time?
Yeah.
Okay. When did it start getting interesting?
Well, yeah, when we started experimenting with other stuff. Then we would
Like, for example.
every now and then there's meth on the table. So okay.
How did that get there?
Yeah. What table? What table?
How did that get there? Like a nightstand on my friend's in my friend's bedroom.
Is this friend from school?
Yep.
Okay.
From the crew?
Yep. So school is kind of like a networking place, right? You either make good friends or bad friends.
Yeah, true.
Or you join the wrong crowd. And so it's that.
And which ones were the good ones? The good ones for me in high school were the ones that partied, that did the drugs. Those were the good ones.
Yeah.
The bad ones were like the fucking people that studied, did their homework,
Right.
were in ASU. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the exciting people that had the connections and new experiences. And so, yeah, I mean, and then we tried different substances. We tried meth, we tried coke, we tried, stayed away from heroin.
Why'd you stay away from heroin?
Again, I had the perception that it was dirty.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna stab yourself with a needle, and then I'm gonna stab myself with a needle.
Yeah.
And then you just see that it's really crazy, like in movies.
Yeah.
You never saw anyone in person do it?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
They could have been on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I never saw anybody stick themselves with a needle before.
I see.
Yeah. It was just our thing. Like, we'll do stuff, but we won't touch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as we tried those things, then we started, oh, well, maybe we should sell this.
Okay, so you did meth, you did cocaine.
Yeah.
What else did you do? Weed, obviously. Did you do acid?
I have. I've
Did you
tried
do
it.
shrooms?
I don't remember if I've done shrooms. Probably because it wasn't memorable.
Oh.
So maybe I've tried it and it was like nothing happened.
Okay.
But a stomach ache or something.
Did you ever have any time where you were like you went overboard on that?
There was a time where I went overboard on coke. And then I told my mom, I was like, hey, Mom, I think something's wrong. I like, my heart feels weird. I did a lot of drugs today. And then,
Or take me back to that day.
Did a lot of drugs today.
yeah. Like
Take me back to that day though. What is that day like? Like what happened? You woke up and then everyone's over. You started to do. Or how did that pop off?
Okay, so.
And this is what, sophomore still?
This is sometime in high school.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is
it's a
sometime
blur.
in high school. It's a blur. And so I was like, okay, something feels off. I don't feel normal right now. I feel like, I don't know, either my heartbeat rhythm was off or something.
Feel anxious?
Something like that. And I just felt really tired, really drained, where Coke is supposed to make you feel like up, right?
Yeah.
So I go to my mom and I'm like, hey, I don't feel right. I think I did a little too much.
You said it did a lot of drugs.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Why don't you sit down and try sleeping it off? And that was it.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
And then so I literally just did that.
That's crazy that you even had
So-
a relationship with your mom where you could say something like that. Like, if I felt weird or if I OD'd on anything at that time, I would not talk to my parents. I'd rather go to the hospital and try to figure shit out on my own
Hell
than
yeah.
to voice anything to them.
Same.
Yeah, I think it was because she wasn't the type to
Like, judge?
to judge and criticize me. So I knew she wasn't going to be like, oh, what the hell are you doing? you shouldn't be doing this stuff. I knew she would try to help, but I didn't think that was her solution.
Yeah.
Like, just sleep it off.
Yeah.
You'll feel better if you wake up.
Fuck.
So the next morning I woke up, I'm like, wow, I can't believe she just told me to sleep it off, because what if it really was an overdose?
Yeah.
What if I didn't wake up? And then I was like, wow, that's crazy. But I was like, okay.
Let's go do some more coke.
Okay, so when that happened, were you already selling anything but weed?
Yes.
Okay, what were you selling?
Ecstasy.
Hell yeah.
So it was weed and ecstasy?
Yes. Yeah.
And how did you get introduced to all that?
Same thing. It was the raves were big, and it was a matter of, I see a need, and there's not much supply. There was a lot of fake pills going around, so people would sometimes sell like blood pressure medicine, something that would kind of alter your state, so you kind of feel like you're under the influence, but it was just fake, right? And it was just some kind of medication. And then for some reason, we always had good connections. We had great sources that had great product. And so we never, so we didn't have the.
I love the way you talk.
So we didn't have the bad experiences like how you see in some movies, like, oh, this person tried something bad from this dealer and they died or OD'd, right? We didn't have that. We always had good product.
How do you know? Because nothing bad happened to you guys? You were like, this is good product. Okay.
Yeah. And I usually had a great high. Some people describe like seeing demons and stuff. I never had that.
So that's not normal.
I never had that either.
I see.
Yeah.
Like bad trips. People have bad trips.
Yeah,
I
really
never had
bad trips where they're like freaking out the whole time they're high.
Yeah.
Right. And it sounds like this nightmare. And so then we started getting into that. We started going to raves. And then we had this rule: if we're at a rave, we would be sober.
Because you're selling?
Yeah,
I see.
Because you don't.
Can you paint the picture of what the rave culture was back then? Because I don't know anything. So my first rave, I was in 2006, 7.
Okay.
So I didn't really that's what I know, and that was already kind of getting popular.
Oh, okay. So when we were raving, it was like 99. 99, 2000.
Yeah. What is that all like?
And like EDC for the first time. A lot of it was spread out. It's not like Coachella these days where there's a lot going on. It was just.
How do you find out about rave?
I don't know. We just knew how. Do
you remember this site called ravelights.com? And the lights is spelled, I think, Lytes.
I don't.
There was
Damn, you did a lot of drugs.
So back in the day, how I found out back in the days, there's 2 ways.
Yeah.
Or 3 ways. The first way is when you come out of a rave, there's millions of people passing out flyers to the next one.
That's true. I remember that.
Millions. And you would just stick your hands out, and by the time you get to your car, there's a shit ton.
Because it was like a word of mouth thing.
Yeah, so there's the first way.
Okay.
The second way, there used to be this site called ravelights.com.
With a Y?
With the Y. And it had pretty much every single rave, whether it was a small rave like Funhouse or something like that.
I wonder if it's still around. Keep telling me.
Or Masterdome to
Yes, Masterdome.
or like some big ass ones.
Yeah.
Like they were just all random. And then the third way is just your friends. Hey, I'm going to this thing, and you're like, oh, cool.
Right.
Those are the 3 ways I remember.
And we always had some hardcore ravers as friends because they would just buy consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they would be like, oh, we're going here. Okay, cool. And I remember this because there was like rituals before a rave. Like if a rave was tonight, what is it right now? It's like noon right now. We'd be making sure we had the product. We'd be making sure we conceal the product.
How would you conceal it?
So my personal way was to sew it to my boxers.
Damn, that's smart.
So I would sew it along my crotch line and all the way to like.
That's amazing. Wait, did you have it like in bags?
Yeah, of course. It was pre-packaged. There's 20 in a bag, and I had like 10 to 20 bags sewn on.
Damn, that's smart.
Yeah.
I either just stuffed it in the tongue of my shoe or at the bottom of my sock, and I'm stepping on it all night, but I'm trying to curl my foot a little bit.
How do you do that? That's so tiring.
That's all I did. And I also went. So
He just called you dumb, baby.
He would. I would have.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Or
How can you
It's
walk
okay.
like that?
You can call him dumb.
yeah, because back in the day, the security wasn't that crazy either. So there's
What was security like? Just like they just look at your face with the light?
they just like pretend to look like. I remember. So one of my homies' older brother and older cousins, they were like OG of Cool Boys. And I remember going to, so they're all like tatted up, buff. They all came out of jail and they're older. So I was probably 15, 16. They must have been like 28 or something, or 30.
Yeah.
When we rolled to the line, the security line, they saw them and then they just have the flashlight and they're like, just come in.
Wow.
They didn't even, because they just look
They
so
already know.
fucking scary. And then I'm like, oh shit, this is how you get in.
Yeah, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
we didn't
sewed
have
it.
escorts. We didn't have that
A
service.
security guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you sewed it. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was the easiest way to keep track of where I am throughout the night. So okay, I have 5 bags left, so I know how much I sold and how much I should have money in my pocket. And then also it was a good way to not get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Give me
case
your-
you get patted down, they won't be able to feel
Yeah.
it.
So I could go in any line, anywhere, and just get in.
Give me your pitch. What was your pitch? I'm a raver.
Oh, we were just walking around and we're like, X.
Oh, that's it.
That's all you say, yeah.
And then it depends how you respond though. If you respond like a white guy and you're wearing Tommy Bahamas and you got a G-Shock, I'm like, oh shit. Like
He's a police
it's
officer.
He's an
yeah.
arc.
yeah, I don't have anything. And then they can't really touch you unless a transaction goes down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or they'll come up to you and like ask you to empty your pockets. I don't have anything in my pockets.
But check my crotch.
Yeah. Well, they used to pat you down and they kind of like put their hands close, but they never pat your crotch.
How are you so familiar with that? How did you know that?
Just going to raves.
Oh, because they always did the same. Got
Roughly
it.
the same.
Okay.
Yeah. And you could tell who's lazy. You could just watch the lines and, oh, that guy's really strict. That one's really lazy. Let's go this way. Yeah.
Damn. And how many raves are you hitting up at this point?
It seemed like every other weekend.
Damn.
And there's always Masterdome. Masterdome was like
like a weekly thing,
The
yeah.
Masterdome is like, consistent every week, right?
Yeah, yeah. What's
So
crazy, it's like people our age at that time, like 15, 16. Masterdome's in San Bernardino. So you're 15, 16 driving to pretty much Big Bear every week.
Did you have your
That's
own car?
crazy.
I took my mom's car.
Oh my God. And she was just like, sure, go ahead, son.
Well, she'd be sleeping.
Oh, okay. True.
And the Asian thing is probably you're racing your friend all the way there.
All the way there.
So you're like, the minute you get on the road to go to this rave, you're putting your life in danger and you're racing all the way
And
there.
you have all this product on you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
Okay.
then you didn't have GPS, you didn't have Waze or anything like that. So it was like you knew how to get there by heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts. Okay, so you looked at your time right now and you were kind of going through your day.
Yeah.
So it's 12. You were looking at your product. Then what's the rest of that?
We'll just decide how much, like if there's 3 of us, we're going and we have 1,000 bills and you'll take 333, you'll take 333, I'll take the rest. And then we'll just, I was sewing.
You were the one sewing?
You were stuffing your shoe.
Yeah. How did you guys get the money? So if you buy, because to even buy 1,000 pills is a lot. Like, how did you guys get the money to buy so many pills?
They were selling weed.
From selling weed, from selling it. So we just always rolled it back in and saved some. Whatever we spent, we made sure we had enough to purchase more.
Yeah.
Very basic arithmetic. A rave's coming up. It's a $5 a pill or $4.50, whatever. So we need $5,000. Make sure we have $5,000.
That's a lot for a fucking 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Even if you're 17, that's a lot.
So at the time, it seemed like we could buy anything we want. We were eating at cafes and it was, we were living a good life.
Was Joe in on this?
Joe was there.
So all of you guys would put in money, get the money, and then split up like the profits.
Yeah.
How did you meet Joe? Sorry to kind of sidetrack it.
Joe. So I think I met Joe. I think he knew Anna first, and he went to Mark Keppel. And
Anna's
then,
your wife.
Yes, that's correct. Anna's my wife. And then through some Arcadia, the world's pretty small, and the SUV is even smaller.
I see.
So we crossed paths, and then
You saw he was just as crazy as you were?
he was different. Like, so there's crazy people, right? There's like people that just want to fight all day and start trouble and like go hit up people and then, intimidate them, whatever it is. But Joe's a little smarter. And I saw that since day one. He always wanted to make sure, like, because he was also on his own. Like his mom, I think at the time he was living with his mom, but I knew that he wanted to be independent. And so he always had a different mindset. He was a little smarter. He's trying to like make sure he makes ends meet. He doesn't get caught, so very cautious. But some people back in the day were like, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that feeling of just getting escorted into a rave probably gets to you at some point where you get careless.
Yeah.
And so I kind of knew that. And so working with him wasn't so risky.
Gotcha.
As opposed to working with somebody else that was like, oh, I don't care. I'm going to go in there and like hit these people up and start waving my gun around and at the rave.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
we're
yeah.
there to do business.
Yeah.
You know?
That is fucking funny.
Yeah.
So you guys were always sober all the time.
That was our rule.
And how many of you guys were there?
There was usually 3, sometimes 4.
Not even until the end of the night would you guys would be like, let's
As soon as
celebrate?
we sold out, we would leave. We wouldn't stay unless we would sell out, and then we'd have a little fun.
Yeah.
Smoke a little weed, drop some acid, whatever it was, and then leave the next when the sun comes up. That's usually when we leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much money are you guys carrying, or like if you sold all of it?
5 pills at retail, 20, so that's 10,000.
So you guys are walking around fucking doing acid, smoking a little bit of weed with 10,000 combined?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, I mean, each person had
10 grand.
Yeah.
So 30,000.
yeah.
Damn.
Well, I mean, let me do some math. So, 400 pills, right? 400 pills at 20. That's actually more than that because So about 400 to 500, so about 8 to 10 grand a night.
Damn.
In cash.
That's tight.
And then think about that. That's all 20s. So you have to look for counterfeit. You're feeling this money in the dark.
You even knew about counterfeits? I didn't know that shit until I was like, I don't know.
The money was even easier to counterfeit back in the day.
Yeah.
Before the new 20s came out.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And then you have to. So imagine if you're high and you're trying to find counterfeits, or you're trying to see if somebody's an undercover cop. You can't tell those things. So there's only one time we broke the rule. We went to a rave somewhere near San Francisco, and we're like, wow, this rave sucks. Like, there's so many weird looking. We weren't used to the crowd. I think that's what it was.
Oh,
so
San
we didn't want to
Francisco.
sell to a lot of people.
Yeah, you didn't know who was undercover.
Yeah,
or
we're
whatever.
like, screw it. We've made enough for tonight. Let's just cut our losses and then let's just have some fun. So that night we smoked some weed. We did some K, which is cat tranquilizer.
Yeah. Ketamine.
And then two of us did some stuff. One of us decided to keep on selling. He got caught. So our suspicions were correct.
He got caught by undercover?
Yeah. He got caught by undercover.
Is that the same story where Joe had to drive all the way back down to LA to get bail money?
Bail money and then go back. Yep, that's the same story. Yeah.
Was he with
crazy.
you? He was the one with you?
Yeah, there's 4 of us. I think there was Joe, there was another guy, and then me, and then the guy that got caught.
Yeah. Damn. You guys had a hunch.
The other guy's first name starts with the A, and the other guy's first name starts with the V?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I know that.
Yeah, you know the story.
Yeah.
I think I know the story. Okay, so this is all still 17, 15, 16, 17?
How old were we? This was right around there. I think this was later in our teens.
But you're still in high school.
17, I would think, maybe 16, because we calmed down a little bit when I was 18, and then yeah.
Okay.
How did you end up getting locked up?
I don't know. I think so. I found out I had a profile with some of the local police.
So you've already been arrested a couple of times and released?
Yeah.
What were you arrested for?
Yeah. Or they just stop us and harass us.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
They search our car. Of course, it would be clean, and it would be like 3 hours.
Whoa,
We're just sitting on the sidewalk.
That's fucked up.
3 car cops, and they're all shining their lights in our faces, and then, okay, you could go now.
Yeah, so for those of you guys who aren't familiar with that, in the SGV in LA at the time, because there were so many Asian gangs, they would have like these Asian gang units in the police. And then so I think since they didn't have like a strong network and database, they would just start harassing any Asian guy that had like a Civic or Integra or dressed kind of funny.
Yep.
And they would just start taking names, taking pictures.
They're building the database.
Yeah, they're building the database.
Yeah.
Like there's times where I'm just driving back from Bally's or something, I get pulled over and I'm like kneeling on the curb for like the next 3 hours. So it happens a lot. And I guess this is how they already had you in the system.
Yeah. Because after I got locked up, that's when I saw everything. They're like, hey, we know you hang out with these people. We know you go to this school. I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot of information.
This is after you got locked up?
Yeah.
When you got released or when you got in jail?
When they were trying to figure out what I wanted to do. as far as do I plead guilty? Do I, you know what I mean? There's
Oh, or take me back to that story. I don't know what the story is.
so the story. So what happened was after I turned 18, we decide to do. Well, I get together with Buddy, and then we steal a backpack. Nothing valuable, really.
Why did you steal this backpack?
I don't know. Maybe it's because like we had like this lull where we things calmed down, and then
By calm down, you mean you're not selling weed?
we're not really selling and doing we're just like letting things cool down, and then we hang out one day, and they were like, oh, let's go and hang out, and then it led to that, and then we took a backpack, and that's what they got me on was.
So you took a backpack because you're like, oh, there might be some shit in there?
I knew what was in there. It was nothing. It was like some coins, but it wasn't like collector's coins.
How did they get you for a backpack? Were they watching you?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they've been following us. They've been.
What gave them reason to follow you? Were you guys like stealing cars? Were you guys doing other things?
Things have cooled down at this point. And this point, I moved out of Temple City. I moved to San Gabriel to my dad's place. Because at this time I was also recovering as an addict.
I see.
So when I started selling coke, you started
selling coke? Was this after X?
Yeah, that's after. And then I started using it more and more and more and more. And then it just became like a huge addiction where I was probably using more than $100 worth a day.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, more than 8 ball a day. And then so my dad was like, okay, cool. Like, he knows how to deal with that type of, because he has friends, and that's when he told me like, oh, I have friends like this, and that's why we try to leave Asia. So at the time, and then come to the States. Well, he just has friends in those circles.
Oh, I see.
And then he's like, I try to bring you here to a better life, and then now I have a son that's like this too. And then so he's like, I'm gonna help you.
Is this at 17?
This is at 17, right when I turned 18. And then I turned 18, and then it's like, oh, hey, things are better. I'm doing better now. I'm going to hang out with some friends again. And as soon as that happens, the backpack situation happened, got caught for it, got locked up for it.
I could see why they're monitoring you. If you're dressing like a gangster.
Yeah.
Like, and there's a group of you like that, I'm sure that alerts people.
Yeah. How much time did you end up doing?
They gave me, so the story is they gave me 365 days, right? And with 365 days, I would have been sent to a penitentiary, like upstate somewhere.
For stealing a backpack with nothing in it?
Yeah, well, because they was still stealing.
But for 365 days?
It's still considered burglary, right? It's still considered.
But it's like, isn't it like, if the value is under, what is it, like 10 grand or something, or $1,000, it's like,
did that rule exist? I didn't know. I don't know. I didn't know about that.
Am I just making that up?
Well, I think you're talking about like grand theft auto or grand theft. That's anything over 10 grand is like a felony.
Yeah.
What did you get? Was it considered a felony or no?
Yeah.
Oh, it was considered a felony.
Yeah.
And it was just for the backpack? Was there any,
It was for, the backpack. Because they didn't really have any solid evidence of other stuff.
That's crazy.
It was just for the backpack.
That is crazy.
And at this point in time, it wasn't like we were still selling. So we didn't have a lot of money. So I just had a public defender. And then, so 365 days, they're about to send me up to some penitentiary somewhere, which is like the real prison, right?
Yeah,
That's
like there's jail and then there's prison.
Yeah, there's jail, which is not as bad, I guess.
Yeah, it's a county.
But then there's prison where most of the lifers are.
Or do you think because they had been monitoring you and following you, that they were building a case, but they didn't have anything to really catch you on because they never really caught you red-handed? So then once they had the backpack, they're like, well, let's tack on or make it bigger because this guy's been doing bad stuff that we can't really get him for.
Maybe.
Because that sounds ridiculous.
So then all I did was I pled guilty to 3, and then I took a plea, but then it was for 364 days. So I could stay at the local jail.
Because
so there's 1 day less?
Yeah, 1 day less. That's where they draw the line. 364, you could stay at a local jail. 365, you need to go up to a penitentiary. And then I served 3 months, 3 and 3.5 months. Got out on good behavior.
What was jail like? Was it hard?
Jail?
Yeah.
It was filled with guys like you, dude. Tats, big. All you did was work out every day.
I knew I wasn't gonna ask any butt stuff, but now I have to ask you butt stuff.
Is there like was
just
it like did you share
Drop
a
the soap?
cell
Yeah.
cell with someone?
Yeah, there was well, it was overcrowded at the time,
Yeah.
so we had to share, and even in the hallways there were bunk beds because they ran out of cells.
shit.
Yeah.
So it was just like everybody was crammed in there, and on top of that, we were segregated. Asians were segregated from Gen Pop.
Yeah.
Why?
Because there was a green light on Asians from the Hispanics, Mexicans, and
So that you can just get stabbed or
Yeah.
killed anytime.
they were supposed to. If Mexican came across a Asian, something had to happen.
Wow.
Otherwise, that Mexican guy would get punished.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was just the reality
Was
of
that
it.
scary? Knowing that? So like anytime you see a Mexican guy, you're like, oh fuck, this guy's gonna try to kill me.
You have to be ready. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna keep my back turned to this person. You had to be ready.
Yeah, yeah.
You had to be ready. But the only time you would really cross paths is if a guard set it up.
Oh.
Or visitation.
There's no like regular yard time where people are like just
Not
working out or
with
whatever.
us. When we went up to the yard, it was just Asians. And
so even the yard time was separated with the Asians.
or they were Asians that were fenced off on this side, and then
So
God
so the
damn.
guards knew
yeah,
like, what's up.
Yeah, but the guards could also set it up too.
Damn.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's nuts.
Thank God you were just kind of low profile, right?
Yeah, I was low profile. I mean, I wasn't trying to create any drama in there or join another gang or anything like that.
Did you make
but
any friends in there?
I think I don't know how you would call them, if you would call them friends, but I mean, it's
Were you on everyone's good side?
yeah. So it's more like a networking event, right? You get locked up, you get locked up, and it's all like, whoa, you are a gun supplier, right? You then
Oh my
you
God.
control all of the coke in LA. Okay, cool. Like
When I get out, let's let's have
So
our people's talk.
everybody's exchanging information. They not even that. They're like, hey, you got a friend out there? I got a friend out. Let's connect them now.
Oh my God.
And then so things are happening in there. So now you can really see. So when they say like these other people in like history, famous crooks, they can run their whole empire from
The
jail.
inside.
Like El Chapo
they
and
really
shit.
can. Yeah, because then it's just a phone call away, or a letter, or something, and then people outside are connecting, and then it's more like they're recruiting grounds. They're like, hey, when you get out, we have this in the streets. We have protection. We have this. We have this. You get to join the family. We'll take care of you.
Were you presented any of those opportunities?
Yeah.
Did you take any of them?
I didn't take any of them.
Why not?
Because I think it dawned on me one time, because I was talking to a guy and he was the smoother guy. So there's usually two types of guys in there. They're either muscle or brain, right? And the muscles are usually they're always like on edge, and they're looking around, and they want to pick fights, and they're very intimidating. But the brains are more like, hey, like they'll tell the muscle to go outside and be like, hey, why don't you come sit down? Let's have a chat. And they'll reason with you, right? So they're more educated, I guess, or whatever you call it. But they would propose all this stuff. You could go back to school too, and then get the perks of both worlds, right? But I didn't take the offer because the guy that I was talking to, I asked him about him, like his family. Does he have kids? Is he married? And he's like, yeah, I have a wife, I have 2 kids. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. You have people that depend on you. I'm in here. I have nobody that depends on me. So my conscience is clear, but you're in here. You're 40 something. You have 2 kids. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even want to be in that position. Like, if I can help it today, I'd rather do something about it today than be 40 something and be in your position. So I told him that, and I was like, that's...
You said that to him?
Yeah, well...
In a nice way.
He's the brain guy. He's not the muscle. I wouldn't say this if the guy was just muscle, right?
Yeah.
So then talking to him, I was able to reason with him. I'm like, I think I'm just going to start to focus on myself a little bit more and go back to school.
That sounds so reasonable.
And then he was like, oh, I can respect that. He was like, I think they like honesty, not instead of like, oh, hey, that sounds great. Maybe I'll call you when I get
'cause you're
out.
just a bitch.
Like, don't lead them on.
Yeah.
Just tell them how you feel about it.
Yeah.
And they'll be cool with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so how did you end up getting out in 3 months instead of serving the whole time?
Staying out of trouble.
Oh, and just got good behavior, and so they gave you
They were so
probation early?
overcrowded that if you didn't have any fights or anything like marked against you when you're in there, they'll let you out pretty early.
At what point in the 3 months that you were in there were you like, oh fuck, I got to change my life? Or did it happen before you, like when you first got booked for Jack in the Backpack?
I think 2.5 months in, somewhere around there.
Oh damn!
It dawned on me like, wow, this is, if I continue, then this is kind of a preview of what it looks like.
Yeah,
because you could see everyone that's older and what they've done, right?
Right. Yeah. So they're older. They have families and they're in there, and I mean, hearing their stories, it was more like we're trading stories in there. Hearing their stories, you kind of know that, oh, I've got caught once, I got caught it again, and then it just keeps on repeating itself. Like some people are in there and they're like, well, this is my second strike. When I go out, I got to be really careful. But they're not thinking, why don't I just change it completely?
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're thinking, I just have to evade or be better at hiding things or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why would you even think of that if you could just change it completely?
Yeah.
But that's what people have to do. You have so much time. You're either working out, eating, cooking, or trading stories.
Yeah. Okay, so you're out now. You've served your time.
Yeah.
Did you graduate high school?
I didn't. I dropped out end of freshman year.
Wait, of high school?
Yeah.
How? Okay, so you just...
I just
how
decided,
did you do that?
well, my grades were so bad. I had a 0.0 GPA, so I figured school's not for me.
Yeah.
I'll stop going. And then somewhere in between stop going to school and all this stuff that happened, I told my mom, hey, take me to GED center. I want to take that at least in case I need it. So I took that. I passed.
Oh.
So at least I have that.
Okay. And then, okay, so now 3 months, you have that at least under your belt. Then what happens? You're back in society.
Were you with Anna before you went to jail?
Nope. She hated my guts.
She hated her. So you guys knew each other?
Yeah, we knew each other since freshman, since '98.
How come she hated her guts?
Well, obviously I was a bad influence on her then boyfriend, so she hated me. And then there was this one time where
because you're friends with her boyfriend.
Yeah, I had to take them to prom, but I was getting high in the car as we were on the way to prom.
Yeah,
and this wasn't like I was just smoking a joint on the way. It's like, hey guys, hold on. I know you guys are late, but I got to pull over really quick and rip this bong.
Oh shit!
You had a fucking bong?
So we would rip the bong, and then wow, she was pissed. She was like, you could feel like her temper just boiling in the back seat.
But you're so high, you didn't give a fuck.
And she's still hanging out with you guys. So like, it's like that means she's part of that group
had
too.
Because she had to. Yeah, because of her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is fucking funny.
Yeah.
And then so when did you meet Anna?
We ran into each other again when I was 19 at In-N-Out.
What were you doing at that point in your life?
Back in college, I was going to PCC. I was trying to get things back on track.
Okay, cool.
I didn't know what to do, so PCC was like, all right, told my parents, hey, if you're willing to give me another chance, I'll take your suggestion. I'll go back to school and I'll try to do it this way now. Do it your way.
Yeah.
So I went back to school, PCC. One day we're hanging out at In-N-Out, and there she was. She just pulled up in the car, and I was like, oh, wow, it's a long time.
Did you always like her?
I not really.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like I always had a secret crush on her or anything. It was like, oh, cool. Like, what are you doing now? And then we were forced to go to Vegas together because of mutual friends. And that's when we found out that, wow, we really get along and we can talk. And
because you were sober.
Yeah. And then we talked all night until like 6 a.m. And so like we're like, wow, this is weird. We never thought this was here. This chemistry was here.
That's tight.
Yeah.
And then how did you end up going from there to UCLA? Did you...
That's when, yeah.
Because usually people, you need to build study habits. You know, you can't just throw someone in community college and they just start excelling.
I think it was belief. I didn't believe I could do it.
Yeah.
Until she told me she thinks I can. I think it was all belief because she asked me, where do you want to go? And I was like, Cal Poly. I think I could get into Cal Poly. And what do you want to do after? I don't know. I'll just probably find a local firm or somewhere to work at. And she's like,
what kind of firm? Just any firm?
So I decided at that time, like, I was decent at math. Like these classes are easier for me than the rest, like compared to chemistry and all that.
Obviously you were fucking dealing.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, okay, maybe engineering. And then I picked the easiest one out of them, which is civil. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll find a local civil engineering firm to work with. And she's like, oh, I think you could get into UCLA. Because my mom went to UCLA. And then so she was like, I think you can do it and carry that on. And I was like, oh, okay. Then I'll actually give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did she go straight to UCLA after high school?
She transferred. She got kicked out of high school, so she had to.
How?
All right, we need to bring her on the podcast.
Yeah. Don't answer that.
She I'll tell you. Well, she was protecting her cousin.
Okay.
And so she took the rap for it.
Oh,
Gotcha.
damn. What a thug.
Yeah.
And then,
she's a thug at heart.
So she transferred too from PCC.
So you guys transferred together?
She transferred before me. So she's supposed to be the class of 2023 in high school. But because she got kicked out, she was accelerated, and she actually, in UCLA, she was class of 06, and UCLA was class of 08.
Okay.
So she finished 2 years earlier.
I never told you this, but I was actually really inspired by you guys.
Really?
Yeah, so you guys already transferred to UCLA. I was still at ELAC at the time. And then I always wanted to go to UCLA.
Yeah.
And then so when Joe was telling me your story back in the day, he was like, yeah, so he goes to UCLA now. And I was like, there was times where I kind of doubted myself too. Because you just think of like UCLA as like the Harvard of California, especially like growing up the way we did. And I'm like, I don't know, I'll probably end up having to go to like UCI or some shit like that. And then, but being able to go to your guys' place, and I'm like, fuck, if they can do it, I'm like, I think I could do it too. And then I found out you did engineering. That's a pretty hard major. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, man. So it really inspired me. And even when I saw your guys' apartment, I'm like, man, this apartment is dope. So when I was looking for a place to stay, that was number one on my list. I still checked out 2 other places, but I was like, dude, this place is tight. And then so I ended up staying at the same apartment.
Yeah. And that's where you guys film.
A lot of
clubbing 101.
Yeah, a lot of non-UCLA stuff we filmed there.
The original stuff.
Yeah, but you guys really, really inspired me, and it motivated me a lot.
Yeah, so I think that's it. It's the belief that you could do it, and then you just go after it.
No, I'm sorry. That's not what it sounds like. It sounds like you had a really amazing woman in your life.
Yes.
The way
instilled the belief.
The way Bart had his,
I didn't have a woman helping me try to get to college.
Fuck. All right. Well, I can't take that credit. No, but you're right. It is. Thank you. No, but it definitely is a belief. That's amazing. Okay, so wait. I feel like we're skipping a lot of steps here because I'm like so into the gossip, into the chisme here. Okay, so you go to UCLA. Yeah, oh wait, did you answer the study habits thing? You asked like, how does one go from drugs to study habits? And that's all it was.
That's all
Bullshit.
it was.
I believe. So this is what I would do. I would take notes, and then after I take notes, I'd probably look at it, and then I'm like, fuck, I believe I'm going to get an A. And then I didn't get a fucking
A. Really?
Yeah. Okay. I was stupid as fuck.
So you're looking at an isolated incident, right? But I'm looking at like the averages. So over yes, I have had those incidents happen to me too, where I thought, oh, I aced that final, but I didn't. But overall, I still made it into UCLA. Yeah, and
so your first couple of semesters or quarters did pretty bad, and you eventually picked it back up.
I think I was lucky though, because in the beginning I just took like theater, which is you're just learning about movies, which was fun. That's easy to get into and get a decent grade.
Yeah, and it's balanced. Okay, so I believe you with the belief thing, right? I'm like, cool, that's awesome. You found what you needed, but what kept you? Like, what did the belief of what? That you could do it?
All right, so what I did was I set my target for Berkeley.
So you shot above?
Yeah, I shot above. And I got rejected from Berkeley, but I got into UCLA. So that's what I did. I kind of always overshoot and to make sure that, okay, if I'm aiming for Berkeley, I know I'll have a pretty good chance at UCLA.
But how did you get that confidence?
Her belief. She thought I could do it. So if she sees something, then
you loved her so much.
I'm just going to take her word for it.
Damn, that's awesome. Maybe your whole life you just needed someone to believe in you.
Probably. I think most people do.
Damn, but what the fuck? There's like these 2 times right now where you guys want to make me cry and shit. But that's amazing.
That is amazing.
No, but what kept you motivated? Her.
That belief, yeah. Because I think there's no way to like think logically. There's no way to think, okay, you got to study 5 hours every day and then you'll have a good chance.
That's what this guy did.
That's hard, right? It's hard to break down like that. Okay, if you want UCLA, you study 5. If you want Berkeley, you study 7. Right? It's really hard. So then the belief actually leads you to do other things. Like, for example, if I can't make it to a class, I have friends in there. I'll just take a picture of their notes. And then I'll go tutor and make money, and so I can make ends meet, but then I can still pass that class and get a pretty decent grade.
Nah, you're pretty smart.
You work around it. Some people I know, they went to class, every single class religiously and never missed.
That was me.
I couldn't. I couldn't do that. I had to go work and do other things. So then
it almost seemed like you were born pretty smart, because even like just the way you went around, you're like sewing the ecstasy to the front of your boxers. I think you already had a way of, if I want to achieve this, what are the different
I mean, he
loopholes?
grew up that way. His parents were like, oh, I'm not going to give you money. Figure it out.
Yeah, like even starting with the Sega Genesis, like how you sold those crystals to get Sega Genesis. I think you kind of already had the process that you needed to do, but you were lacking the belief.
Yeah, that's why for me though, it was like, well, what keeps you motivated? Do you know what I mean? Like what was it that were you like, okay, I had this past.
Oh, okay. What kept me motivated? So there was her belief, but also the fact that she's such a good person that I feel like I probably won't have this chance again.
What the fuck? You guys are gonna make me cry again?
So I don't want to fuck it up. So if she thinks I can do it, I'm just gonna try my best.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
God damn.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cute as hell.
So
yeah.
there's that.
So you were doing it like
disappointment, I guess. Like, yeah.
Did she also shoot for Berkeley and try to go to UCLA too? Did you guys have the same goal?
UCLA was her dream.
Oh, so she wanted
that was it. And she put all of her eggs in one basket. I remember when she applied, she was like so stressed out. She's like, what if it doesn't happen?
Yeah. And what if one of you guys go and one of you don't?
Well, she was early. She was 06, so she was 2 years early compared to me.
Oh, okay.
And she was so stressed out. She's like, this is it. It has to be UCLA. It's the only school I want to go to. That's it, do or die.
So by the time you applied, she was already going to graduate?
She was already there, yeah.
Damn.
I took 3 years, so there was a year overlap. I think I got in 05.
Yeah, because you're a science major.
Yeah.
You need like another extra year of sciences.
And I had no AP classes to like cover all the the lower divs.
Yeah.
So I took 5 years.
That was one thing that I had a gripe about with all the other people. Because like if you're sciences, you have like if you're a chemistry major, you still have to take physics and bio. If you're bio, you have to take chemistry and physics. If you're chemistry, you have to take it's just, I'm like, what the fuck? How come for the sciences you always have to do all this extra work? But in any, like if you're econ,
and they're usually labs.
Yeah, and if you're econ, you just take econ shit, or if you're humanities, you just take humanities shit. But only in the sciences.
A lot of people were there, and they're like, "Oh, I took business because it was easy."
Fuck yeah!
Requirements were like easier.
Are you breathing? Are you breathing? Yeah. Then you're in.
Yeah.
You're into business.
I'm like, God damn! I'm a bio major. Why do I have to take all these other fucking sciences? It's like,
because you're overachieving, dude. You should have gone the geo route.
I know.
Was your GPA really good?
I think I finished UCLA with 3.4.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
3.4.
So you just kept getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then what made you want to go to Columbia and pursue a master's?
Anna
too?
Yep.
What did she say?
So it's also
like, I believe you
another dream of hers was to move to New York. Like she wanted to experience that, what it's like to live there, work there, just have fun there.
Yeah.
And so when she graduated in 06, she went to work. And then she applied for...
What was she doing for work?
She worked at Warner Brothers, Paramount Pictures in marketing.
Oh, cool.
Tight.
And then she, what did she do? She applied for grad school in NYU. And then 08 is when I also graduated UCLA. So she's like, hey, I'm going to apply for it. And I was like, okay, go for it. Just trying to be supportive. And so she gets in, and then I also get an offer to stay at UCLA to continue my studies at a graduate level. They were going to pay for it in full, and they were going to pay me a stipend as like a salary.
That's sick.
For my living expenses.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, wow, this is so crazy. I never thought I would get this. And then, so I found out November that I was going to get that. And then that's around the time she applied. So she heard back February-ish of the next year.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I really want to do it. I think I'm going to go. She's like, are you going to move with me? And that's when I was like, man, this is such a dilemma.
Yeah.
I have full ride UCLA.
Are you making good money though on the side?
I was just tutoring.
Okay.
which is like $40 an hour. But
pretty
compared
good.
to working at like a burger or food joint,
Yeah,
this
I
is
mean, it's good.
and it's flexible.
Yeah.
But not good enough to
Right.
go to
But
school.
I was not trying to go back to doing other stuff for money.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to stay away from that.
You could say it. We
Yeah.
talked about it already.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
Yeah. The slanging. So then we had a long discussion, and she's like, and I was like, but I haven't applied to any schools out there yet. It's already February. It's too late. All the enrollment periods have closed. They usually close like fall of the previous year. So then she's like, okay, let's fly to New York.
Just fly.
Let's go to New York next week.
Oh my
And
God.
so we go to New York, and she's like, is there anybody you can talk to? I was like, I could probably talk to the department chair, because he's the one that at UCLA had a great department chair, and he's the one that set up the whole scholarship. So I was like,
cool.
I could probably talk to the engineering department chair at Columbia. And then so we get there, and I'm standing outside. It's like his office is probably a little bigger than this, and he has one of those desks that face
The door.
the door.
Yeah.
This guy with like full white head of hair, and then he's busy. He looks like he's neck deep in his paperwork.
He's probably playing solitaire.
I don't know what he's doing,
computer.
but I chickened out. I was like, nah, he looks busy. I can't bug him right now. And she's all like, you better get your ass in there,
That's tight.
because we came all this way. You better get in there
that
and
is
talk to him. It's like, all right, cool. It's like, all right, worked up the courage, went inside, sat down, introduced myself, and then I was just explaining my situation to him. I was like, I have a setup at UCLA. I could show you all the paperwork, but I really want
Would
to
you
come.
tell him about your past though?
No,
Oh, I felt like that would have given you even more clout. Anyway.
maybe. But he interviewed me on the spot, and then he was like, okay, cool. I think you're a great fit, but all the scholarships have dried up.
Oh, no.
We've already handed them out last year. And are you okay with that? And I was like, yes, I'm okay. I'm willing to do anything.
Oh shit.
And then that was it.
That's expensive, isn't it? How much is
It
it?
cost $60,000
Oh my god.
for 9 months of school. Fuck. So then we went, and after that we moved there, and then
Don't you have to take like the GRE or anything like that to get into grad school?
we did. I got a 750 in math. I got like a 420 in English.
So you took it after he granted you a position, and then you went to go take it?
I took it before that.
Oh, okay.
Well, you had to, right? Because
Yeah.
then that's how UCLA even knew that you
Oh, okay.
wanted, and it could be.
Gotcha. Okay. So you already had
Yeah.
taken. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then got into Columbia, and then we started making plans to move out there, and stayed out there for 5 years, and then moved back 2013 here.
Hold up, you can't fast forward that much. Okay, so you get into this, you find out. Sorry, I cleared my throat. I know a lot of you guys don't like that shit. My bad. But yeah, so you get in. Do you tell your parents about this? And how are they dealing with all that? You don't know?
I don't remember. I see my relationship with my parents wasn't like, oh, I have great news. I need to call them right now.
Oh, okay.
I was actually closer to my godparents.
I see.
Who raised me from when I was an infant to when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
And they live in Arcadia now, and I visit them all the time. Maybe sometimes more than my parents. But I didn't run to them and tell them. I wanted to make sure everything was set. We're moving, and then I told them.
Yeah.
And then this is where we're moving to, and this is what's going to happen. Yeah.
Tight. Holy crap. Have you ever ran into anyone from that past?
Oh, yeah. All the time. After moving back, I started working out at 24 Hour Fitness. Lo and behold,
Everyone's there.
they do too. And it's like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? Catching up. And I think it's okay to run into them. I think it's a part of our past. It's a part of us. And,
Yeah.
And we just say hi, and we show our respects, and then
Are people in the same place, or do a lot of them changed and moved on to other things too?
besides Joe, I haven't really reconnected with a lot of people. And so I don't know what they're going through or what they're doing these days. It was more of, I'm going to focus on what I'm doing, stay in my lane, and
Damn.
just
Yeah,
do that.
I remember Joe saying like when he went to your guys' wedding, it was like the craziest shit he's ever seen. Because like on one side you had all your Columbia people and like your firm people seated, and then on the other side were a bunch of like gangsters and like other folk.
Yeah, it was just like different. And then he was there. He was kind of in between both worlds. also sharing his experience about, there was also like stockbrokers because from New York. And then they would be so surprised, like, how you make money on YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
You know, for them, it's all corporate life. It's
Yeah.
They don't know anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like shocking to hear you can make money on YouTube.
Yeah.
That was in 2011.
Yeah, I was already in there.
That's when you got married?
Yep.
That's so crazy. Do you ever like sit down and talk to Anna and like reminisce about all the things you guys been through?
Sometimes. Definitely now more than like this past year, especially with infertility. And so we definitely sit down and we're like, you know what? Despite this hurdle, we've had great experiences in the past.
You guys done so much together.
Yeah, we've done a lot. We've lived out in New York. A lot of people still want to do that as a dream. So we're so fortunate to have been able to do that and just like up and leave.
Yeah.
She didn't have her parents here, so nothing was tying her down at the time. And I wasn't afraid to leave my parents to go to New York. So we talk about it. Maybe not as much as we should, but we kind of try to focus on what's next, what to do from here on out. But I think everything has led to, okay, it's not about money, because in high school we had money, but then that also led to bad stuff happening.
Yeah.
And so we try to make it more about the journey and involving ourselves with people that have the kind of same mindset and the same, I would say, vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about relationships.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I really can attest to that. Because, yeah, the money comes and goes, right? And then there's a point where you can buy literally whatever you want. But then you're just like, it's kind of unfulfilling because you're like, well, okay, I have this now. And that feeling of that excitement of wanting and striving to get that material thing, once you get it, it's kind of like fleeting. You're like, okay, well, now what? Then when you guys give us like tour of your city and stuff like that, like that's when it's really, really cool. And it feels like the most fulfilling because we get to connect and hear ideas and share stories and stuff. And yeah, you're 100% right. Like it's really, really cool.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I think you want more. I think we asked so many questions.
No, I mean, I just it was cool to hear the story in more detail.
Yeah,
because I've always been inspired by your story, and I always wanted to share it with people. And there's times where even at the gym, like fans will come up to me that come from our similar upbringing.
Yeah,
and they still speak that way.
Yeah,
hey dog, like man, you know, I really want to change my life, but I just can't stop doing like this crime or whatever. And I'm like, fuck, that's crazy. Cause like I've already been out of that mindset. And so, but he says when they listen to podcasts like these, it gives them hope. You know, it's like we become their Anna. Yeah. So it's cool to be able to share like stories like this.
Yeah, I can relate to that. It almost feels foreign a bit to hear that vernacular again, to hear that, oh wow, like I used to talk like this in high school. Yeah. But to hear it now and it's still normal for them. Yeah. It's a little foreign to me.
Or even the mindset that they're in. Yeah. It's almost like in their mind, there's like A can only equal B and that's it. Versus now, like I understand, like if I do this, there's so many other options.
Right. And I have to admit that only with experience, you see those options. Yeah. I mean, for them, it's so easy to keep on that same track and because money's easy or whatever. Yeah. But there's a lot of risk. I mean, I even have friends today that used to be very innocent in high school. But now they're going through it.
Oh shit!
But the stakes are higher. They already have kids.
Oh no!
They're married. They have a house. You know, so all that can disappear, and it's like shit. Yeah. I'm so glad I went through it early.
Me too.
And then it's like short and concise, and got that out of the way. Yeah. And now we could just focus on. It's like I know I don't want to go back. Right. Right. Yeah. That's the whole thing. The whole moral of the story is, I'm not trying to go back. Yeah. But sometimes if you're curious and you've never done it, you're like, oh. That seems cool. Yeah.
Yeah, or just try it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's okay to try things, try it a little bit, and then just go back to your regular life. Yeah. And prioritize.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. If you guys want Anna back on, she's...
Not back on, but on.
On. I think she has a really cool story too. Let us know in the comments below. Let us know about any other topics you want us to talk about. And thank you so much to our sponsor, Third Love, for supporting this episode of the podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Or hold on, before we do that. So yes, special, a great thank you to Third Love. Again, if you guys want to take advantage of 15% off your first order, go to thirdlove.com/Beaw. That's BEAW. And then, ladies, find your perfect fitting bra. Again, that's thirdlove.com/Beaw, BEAW, for 15% off today. Thank you so much, Jeremy. That was really dope.
Fun. It's been fun.
Thank you for being so
Glad to be on this.
so open.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm open book.
Hey. Thank you.